Hi, everybody. Welcome to Beyond the Backcast. Right, I'm Upper, talk with Braydon Kenny about Batman, the animated series, and this week's episode is not I'm Vengeance, but yet I am the Knight. How you doing today, sir?
I'm tired, Adam. I'm just tired. Just sitting in my dank man cave, just tired of everything, but no, I'm doing great, man. No.
Uh,
I am ready
uh,
for Batman's midlife crisis episode.
I was gonna say, is that like a really bad a Green Mile impression? What's his face?
I'm tired, boss. You want some cornbread, Mr. Jingles? Well, you can forget it because I'm gonna kill you.
It's been a while since I've seen that movie. Need to watch that again. But what's his face is in it though, so it's not cool. So. Well, as I said, this week's episode is I Am the Night. There you go. Yes, it is the 49th episode produced and the 34th episode to air, having it air November 9th, 1992. So we went back in time a little bit to earlier in the month. So yeah, it's written by Michael Reeves and directed by Boyd Kirkland. I think this is I recognize that name. I think they've done a couple three by now. I think.
hmm
Yeah,
And
sounds
actually, this
familiar.
is one of Boyd Kirkland's favorite episodes, apparently.
Uh, uh, hopefully, hopefully it wasn't because he named the villain of the week. Hopefully that wasn't his idea.
Yeah, I will never understand why Bruce Timm and the guys behind BTOS insist on making up their own villains. Like, don't get me wrong, like you got Harley Quinn, you got Lockup, you got lots of these characters that were introduced.
Uh, but is lockup good though?
I like Lockup. He was in the
But
Arkham game recently.
liking him and is he good are two separate things. It can be two highly different things. But is he good though?
He
Is
was
what the
peak
question is.
90s energy. He had the metal
But
chain.
again, is he good though?
I'm saying he's good. I like him.
Okay, okay.
You want to go? Like, let's get this
No,
on.
no, I just no, I just either way, I just wanted to answer if he was actually.
Catch me
It's
outside.
what.
How about that?
No, 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 just needed an answer. That's all.
I thought I was answering. Leave it to me to fail to understand communication. But
Because
yeah,
like I
what did
said, because I said on record and off my shelf many a time, I really like the Hulk movie, but is it good? No.
yeah, what did you think of this episode? It's very
I
much
yeah. Aside from the figure I made mention they tried to you before, like that stupid ass fucking villain name, it was a decent enough episode, yeah. Because you imagine like at some point, Batman probably has had to have thought of this at some point in his life slash career as Batman. I think probably later on, because later on he's probably definitely settled it and just being like, yeah, I'd be like Michael Keaton, just being like, yeah, I am fucking Batman, sort of thing. And then I think is it this Batman or is it Batman Beyond where like someone gets into his mind and that's how he figured out that it was like an illusion or whatever else because his subconscious was calling him Bruce instead of Batman. And he
that
says
was
like,
Batman
yeah, that's how
Beyond.
I do it. Okay, I always forget what I was because like that's the one thing with having Kevin Conroy voice him for so long over so many iterations. You just kind of being like have like whatever imagine a Batman in your head and it's still voiced by him, so it just kind of carries to everything and you just kind of lose where it is.
Mhm.
But yeah, I always think about that part or whatever. Yeah, just that yeah, he's like he is Batman and Bruce Wayne is always the mask as it were instead of the physical Batman mask, whatever sort of thing.
Yep. And as we'll see later on, this is one of the other few times that we see Batman take off the mask.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, we can dive right in because yeah, this is going to be an introspective into Bruce Wayne and Batman and just wrestling with the effectiveness of his role as the Dark Knight? Like, has it been a lasting impression, or is it something that was, you know, good for a while but is not effective anymore?
Or even or just a thing that even if he is exercises his demons somewhat as Batman, he should still probably do some sort of therapy as
Yeah,
well.
you'd think. Like,
But yeah, so as this episode starts off with him just kind of like sitting in that like what looks like to be like a chair. Like, do you think he carved that into the side of the Batcave, or it just happened to be like a natural like rock formation? And he's like, "Ooh, this looks exactly like a chair where I can like lounge in like introspectively if I'm having like a bad like night, week, month, or whatever sort of thing."
I think he carved it. I think
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah,
Bruce
yeah.
wants
Me too,
to.
100%. Yeah, yeah. Like here's how he was. There was like a slow crime night, like one like Tuesday after like night or whatever. So he's like, "Ah, fuck it." It's like.
Yeah.
Then Alfred's like, "What are you doing down there?" He's like, "I don't know, just fucking waiting."
Yeah, when he's got like a boring night where there's like very little to no crime happening, that's not
Yeah.
worth his time. He just goes Andy Dufresne with a rock hammer and just chisels out a throne. Master Bruce, would you think about making me a chair? After all, I'm on my feet about as long as you have. Don't count yourself lucky.
No, Alfred gets would get like a regular chair to sit for it because even because I don't think that like that the rock chair, even if you carved it yourself, a rock chair is not going to be fucking comfortable at all.
Yeah.
So he's funny, yeah. So I think part of like the rock chair is just just even if he's trying to be like waiting to be all his introspective and stuff, he's still going to be it's going to be like a pain on himself to be sitting in.
Yeah, so Alfred comes up to him while he's sitting in the on the rock throne, and he's got like a tray with a box on it and a newspaper, and he's like, Master Bruce, are you all right? And he just goes, I'm tired,
Uh,
Alfred.
just tired of it all, Alfred.
Yeah.
Why do I
Now,
even do it?
here's my question. Not that this isn't an interesting, kind of reflective episode. And like, I like that he has a moment here of just kind of wondering, like, the effectiveness of being Batman. But what brought this on? Because it can't be like any, I don't think, inciting incident that we see, at least. Like, we just kind of open the
Yeah,
episode like this.
yeah. So as I said, I think this is probably like probably like year 5 or 6 Batman thought. I think
Yeah.
because yeah,
It
because
is
it's
the
definitely like
anniversary of his parents.
oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, of his parents, so that's
Yeah.
probably what it is. Because I think actually that's probably exactly what it is. Yeah,
Yeah. That makes sense.
because he's probably like what is he like? Say is he like 25? Is this 25-year-old Bruce or like 35-year-old Bruce, do you think,
Oh, I
at
think
this point?
closer to 35.
So he's probably like been Batman for like 5 or 6 years at this point at least. And after doing like the whole around the world training for X not 10, like say whatever 10, 12, 15 years, whatever it is that he did that for. So he's had been, Batman in his head for like say like 15, 20 years at this point, sort of thing. And then 5 or 6 years proper as like and as well the whole anniversary of his appearance thing because the inciting incident to them dying and him becoming Batman is just random violence in Gotham. So so it's been a ever present thing in Gotham for longer than he's been him. So all that added together, it's like, hey, you know, like should I just fund be like what should say and just fund the police more and sort of thing and let them do what they're supposed to be doing and not do their job for
Well, that's the funny
them.
thing with
So
a paycheck,
yeah,
Bruce. You can sign it and still be Batman. Like,
yeah. But where the fun is but then the nights like this come up even more because he's like, what the fuck? Like, what's even the point then if the cops are actually doing what they're supposed to and not just putting everything up and actually helping people out and sort of thing and whatnot. Like, what the hell? What's Batman to do then? Like,
yeah, you can't spell
like
funds without fun.
Exactly. So yeah, so exactly, so yeah, so then when he stops being Batman, then it's just bummed about his parents being dead, and then he can't. There's no outlet for that anger. Then he what becomes like Lex Luthor that instead.
Oh my gosh. I'd like to
It's
think
like
that he may be dark, but he's not that dark, but
or is that like how we like solve Lex then is just go back and kill his parents
true.
and sprinkle some Rogaine on that baby head or something maybe.
Put the Nair on.
Oh, just start eating earlier.
Speed up the process.
Well, in that case, I think he kills his own parents. No,
Yeah,
fucking baby Nair.
baby Nair. So one production detail I wanted to make mention of before we kind of get into the meat of the story is you had mentioned Michael Reeves, who also served as the story editor for this episode.
Yeah.
Um, he approached it as rectifying the sanctimonious, overgrown Boy Scout image left on the show by earlier episodes. I wanted Batman to be this grim, silent, driven Avenger. I wanted to do a real stake 50s style crime drama like Naked City. I didn't want one of the rogues gallery to take the limelight away from Batman because yeah, like this is a little bit like it's never too late in that it's all plain clothes characters other than Batman, of course. Um, and we have Batman in this beginning when he's talking to Alfred and kind of wondering about the effectiveness of his crime fighting. Batman sees the newspaper and what it says that the Penguin just got off on a technicality, so that's just kind of salt in the wound to, his kind of depression. I like to know what kind of lawyer like Penguin can actually afford. Like, you'd think it'd be a civil servant, right? Like,
Well, I always figured because the Penguin is like meant to be like the higher class villain of the Rogues Gallery. So I guess like of all of them except for maybe like Two-Face, he's the one that could probably afford it. I guess like
he,
the higher power hour,
he affords
or like
Johnny
or.
Cochran. You can't fit a flipper inside a glove.
The first don't fit. That's a quote.
You know what? That actually makes more sense than the actual glove test, the glove defense in the OJ trial.
Now the best one is the Chewbacca defense.
This did not make sense.
And therefore he did not kill those people.
Oh my gosh.
But he totally did kill those people.
No, no, he didn't. No, he didn't. I told you how this podcast ends, Adam. Civil War. Anybody on the doc score knows what we're talking about. But yeah, he's having this moment of kind of wondering what's to be of his future, and that's when he's reminded of going to visit his parents on the anniversary or the crime scene. And so the box that he gets from Alfred contains two roses. So as he heads over there, we're introduced to a young street kid named Wizard. I don't think they actually named him in the episode, but apparently that's his name according to the DCAO wiki.
Yeah, like the two guys that he runs into, like actually do call him. Hey, they
Oh,
like
they
run
did?
over like they're like, hey, it's the wizard. But I actually thought they called him the wizard. Which one I thought was weird because like around the same time this show was airing, as like it was like the Spider-Man animated series,
Yeah.
and one of the later season episodes, they kind of did like a they're talking about like Captain. They ran into Captain America and stuff, and like yeah, they talk about like trying to replicate the super serum and stuff, and they use it on like some other people,
There's
and they
something
only got
funny about
like
a senior citizen named the Wizard.
that's what I'm going with this. Yeah, it was like but they all got like super specific powers,
Mhm.
sorry, and like one of them was like super speed for like short bursts or whatever, so they called them the Wizard. So that's I was like, that's weird that they had like two different characters named like the exact same, like that close. That was because it was airing on the same channel because these were both like Fox things. So I was like, what the fuck? But then I looked it up and it was like the Wizard because like I like throughout the episode, like I think we've mentioned on the episode before episodes earlier that I'm like usually pretty good with picking out voices. I was like, hey, right, this voice sounds familiar, so I looked it up and like it was like, oh, the Wizard, and I was like wrong, and that was like fucking Seth Green. I was
Yeah.
like, how the fuck did I not? How the fuck did I not pick out like Seth Green's voice?
Yeah, he was probably I would imagine this is around the time that he did like the original It movie, like the one with Tim
Yeah, so
Curry.
yeah, yeah, this would have been like early Seth Green, yeah, but still, I was like, how the fuck did I? Because you know he's well, yeah, again, like he's been in like, a ton of stuff that I've watched over the years, so it should have been a voice that I should have picked out, yeah, because I watched a lot of wait when it first aired, like Robot Chicken, like early Robot Chicken, yeah,
So
and then
as the
yeah,
wizard, go ahead.
did you ever watch Greg the Bunny? What?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, if I go, yeah, I would like the first season, like the good season,
What
like on
amazed me is
DVD.
when Gary Oldman guest starred on it. Like, you got Gary freaking Oldman on Greg the Bunny.
Eh, like, despite like what people say, that was a good show. I did like, or like, again, or I liked it at least. So I'm
You
not,
have to be good to get Gary Oldman. Like,
I really enjoyed that show.
I don't
I
think
wish I
Gary
lived on.
Oldman's even been on Saturday Night Live. Like, I think he's guest starred on that and Friends. Like,
Yeah, he's got to been on SNL. No,
I don't know. I'm gonna check it out.
I yeah, but yeah,
Yeah.
like yeah, we run into like yeah, the Seth Green's character, the wizard, I guess he's named and said, and then and they just because yeah, I think at first he sees like two people, like two like tourists or whatever, or it's just two old people, or is it just like two touristy people, or just two random people? Do you think, or was it?
I think they were like tourists. Or yeah, are you referring to the guys in the shop or the guys who
Or
grabbed?
or the one that like he's like, hey, I need bus fare or whatever
Oh,
because I need to
those
get home,
guys. Sorry.
whatever.
Yeah, I think they were like Gotham civilians. Yeah,
But
he's
yeah,
doing I think he pickpocketed the guy his wallet, but no, he was literally just grabbing loose change. It's like,
yeah,
I don't know, like this is kind of like street hustle 101. Like, I don't know, like
yeah. So they're like, okay, give him change, and I was just like, what? Yeah, like bus fare. So it's like you know what, between like $2 to $3 usually for, for yeah for 92. Yeah, I'd say like $1 to $2. I'd say probably. And
yeah.
he's like, haha, works every time. Like he like scored the big time or something like that. So I was like, okay, whatever. And then like then the two guys run into him. And he's like, the wizard. And then like he's like, yeah, you owe us money for us allowing you to work this corner or whatever. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And they go to beat him up because they want them has like brass knuckles and stuff. And then that's you know because then that's when Batman notices this because it's like basically like just down the way from where his parents got killed.
Well, just
So
before he gets to them, he's talking to Leslie Tompkins, who's meeting him there for the anniversary.
oh, that's right.
So
That is
I would
right.
imagine this takes place at least a year before the or a year after Appointment in Crime Alley. So he's wondering about his effectiveness of the about his crusade as Batman, and Tompkins quotes Santayana in saying, they say about the past, those who forget their history are condemned to repeat it. And Batman has a rhetorical. He also said about fanatics, consisting about redoubling your effort when you've forgotten your goal. I thought, you know what? Like the guys clearly did their homework on this with the script, knowing like how to make it sound deep. Because like Batman has some very like introspective moments in this episode, like to kind of paraphrase something he says later on, like he has looked deep into the abyss, and this is the abyss looking back at him, and he's kind of lost his way, and he's kind of like just struggling with his whole, I guess, his life's purpose and all that stuff. And yeah, like this episode takes some very smart but deep turns, man.
Yeah, yeah, especially for like a yeah, being like a child's thing. I'm fairly certain I probably would have seen this episode, but it doesn't definitely doesn't stick out. So I definitely would have for obvious reasons. It's probably not one of my like more favorite episodes, just because I would have been like, what the fuck is going on in this episode? I was watching this when I was like 12 years old, or like 11,
Yeah.
or just about to turn 12. Yeah, because it's like days before my 12th birthday.
You're asking your parents who Santayana is. Like, I don't know. Like
Like, do you understand what's going on here, parents? Like, like what the fuck?
so jumping back to the thugs and the wizard, uh, I'm just impressed that they got away with the line that the guy like threatens the wizard guy with, because he says, "I will cut up your liver and fry it in a pan." Like, jeez, what the hell?
And if and ever like smelled somebody cooking like liver to like eat that stuff does not smell good. So I imagine like
No.
so I imagine people liver don't smell good either, or probably smell equally as bad.
It's
Because
right up there
because
with
my
burnt hair.
yeah because my when I was like a kid, staying over my grandparents one time, and then they were like, yeah, they were weirdly tight-lipped about what they were making for dinner, and I don't know, I was like, "What is that? Why does that smell weird?" And then like, as soon as I saw it, and I was like, "I'm fairly certain I know what this is, even having not seen it before in real life." No, then yeah, it's not good.
I'll never forget this, Grandpa. You're dead to me now.
Yeah.
So yeah, they have this brief fight when Batman kind of crashes in to save the kid, and he goes to help the wizard up once he's taken care of the thugs, and that's when he sees that one of the thugs has fallen on one of the roses that he put on his parrot.
I think he's fallen on both of them, man.
Oh, fallen on both, yes, yeah,
Yeah.
and like he's just like furious to see that. I'm like, just the animation on like his face there was like very like intense. Like one thing I'll say like as a plus for this episode is the animation. I don't know who the studio is that did it. I can look it up real quick, but they did a tremendous job. Like the characters are their facial features are really detailed for like a very emotional episode. And
Yeah.
yeah, no, it conveyed it well. And so Batman's talking to Leslie, who's followed him over to this fight, and says, "Think you can find room for one more at your clinic or your shelter?"
At the
And
Mitchell Street mission, yeah.
that's what it was, yeah. And like basically throws the wizard at him. But
I don't know.
yeah, no, it was I don't know, like I thought it was a little hitting too home with the falling on the roses thing, but yeah, it
And
was
and and then all this does it cut to the like the raid going on, or is it just
yes.
like is that intercut here, or is it just kind of go there and then be like it's set up and then the talk between Bullock and Gordon's like, hey, you know, yeah, I want we go down. He's like, no, Batman said he'd be here, so he's gonna help coordinate things, which I always thought was weird that even Gordon's like, yeah, even though everyone knows that Gordon and Batman kind of chatted, like pile up and stuff, but he shouldn't be coordinating with the police doing shit like this. Like
Yeah, it
maybe
kind of
inform,
really shows he has a little
maybe
too much
inform them and be,
authority.
yeah, maybe inform them and be like, hey, I'll be there, and if if I see like a sniper or some shit, I'll take him out or whatever, or just kind of use you guys as a distraction while I break it and fucking do my own shit, but not be like, yeah, get on band 12 and be like, hey, here's the radio, and be like, all right, I'm going in the back, sort of thing, not, not coordinating to this extent.
Yeah, Batman should
Yeah,
be serving as a backup role.
yeah, because that's kind of like the point of the bat signal is just to fucking try and get him to talk to him. Like that's the only way to talk to him, sort of thing. Not be like, hey, coordinate like this. Yeah, so it does not make sense. Well,
No,
I didn't think it made sense at all.
no, no. It's kind of leaving a little bit of too much up to Batman when he's already having kind of a moment in this episode. And yeah, as you mentioned, the police are getting ready for this raid on probably the lamest named villain. so far in this series, the Jazz Man. So,
And I just always remembered like an early Simpsons episode where like Lisa was like singing about uh, Bleeding Gums Murphy, the
hey,
jazz man.
we never saw him die. We got told he died, but for all we know, he faked his death and went to Gotham and became a crime boss.
Yeah, and decided to get his late life in order and worked out, so he's like nice and skinny again.
He traded the saxophone for a Tommy gun. So yeah, the jazz.
And because of all these jokes you've been making about him since I've learned his name like about an hour ago, or about like an hour and a half ago of this recording. I'm sure that's probably why he's got the Clint Eastwood persona, because he got sick of all everybody making fun of his name.
Yeah,
Like he couldn't change his name. He's like fucking people making fun of me. I'll be Mr. Tough Guy and fucking making everyone pay for making fun of me. I'm going to keep the name. God
but
damn it!
that's the thing with
I'm the
these crime
fucking
bosses.
jazz man.
That's the thing with these crime bosses. Like when we saw Tony Zuko, he had like 16 different aliases. So yeah, just make up a new one.
He's like, no, this is I'm the jazz man. That's tough. Like I'm keeping it. You all are wrong. This is a tough name.
Yeah,
I'm
so
the jazz man.
the jazz man is voiced by Brian George, who is one of those
Is it?
actors that you guys have probably seen in a lot of projects. And
And like
once again,
as I always describe it, it's like, oh yeah, that guy, guys.
once again, if you saw this guy and heard this voice, you would not correlate the
Yeah,
two.
yeah, 100%. I wouldn't have guessed. And they saw he's like done like a lot of voice stuff, and I think he's even done like the Batman, Superman, Public Enemies. I think he was like Gorilla Grodd in that, and then they yeah, definitely like which I guess it's just to prove like how good of a voice actor he is. They wouldn't have put the voice to the voice to the face.
So yeah, Bullock says to Gordon, like, okay, we can't be waiting on Batman. Like, we got to move in now. So Gordon's like, all right, fine. I guess, we'll do our jobs without Batman. I don't know how we'll do that, but we'll get by. We'll figure it out. So
Well, I guess we'll have to rely on our cops training and do it that way. I guess.
yeah.
Like I didn't sign up to be cops to fucking do my cop duties. Like I mean, I'm here to fucking back up Batman. Like, come on,
Gotta read him his Meredith rights. Don't you mean Miranda rights? Yeah, that's what I said.
the Martha rights, don't you know? Yeah, the only thing with that is because it got brought up recently, like on the Golden Age doc scored like that we listened to. It's not like both their parents are named Martha. Even at the beginning of the movie when they said like that Batman's mother was named Martha. Like I've been a Batman fan for years. I'd forgotten that her name was Martha as well until the end of the movie when that Martha thing was, because they there's no like emotional weight to that other than like that was said once at the beginning. Like if he had like was like doing stuff and then kind of drifted off and it was like thinking like, oh, Martha, like my mom or whatever, or thought of that thing like or like just do like I guess they probably did want to do like the his parents dying like 5 times in the movie, like the Green Lantern movie, but like you needed to have like a couple more things of him like thinking of Martha before him just freaking out at the end, being like, "Oh, why'd you say that name?" Because that made it make less sense. Because it's yeah, that's like 2.5 fucking hours later. You forgot that his dad said Martha at the beginning.
The thing that I take away from that scene, like in the opening of BVS, is his last word. Thomas' last words are Martha,
Yeah,
while he's dying in front of his 8-year-old
yeah,
son.
yeah, yeah,
Like,
like yeah,
not my
yeah,
orphan child, my sexy wife
yeah,
bleeding in the gutter.
that scene doesn't make sense either. But I'm just saying, like, just in movie story part, like he says Martha at the beginning. You immediately forget that he said that. Does not come up again at all until fucking 2.5 hours later when he's like, ah, fucking, why'd you say that name? And you're like, why did he say that name? Like, what are you freaking out for? Oh, right, it is your fucking mom's name. Like, yeah, I've been a fan for fucking Batman's so for like fucking 30 years. Like, I forgot like her name's fucking named Martha too. Whenever has it I come up again? Like, do you remember when it's like being like like you kind of remember Thomas being the dad because of the the Flashpoint Batman was Thomas because
Yeah.
he did because you remember that, but like I don't know, or am I just being dumb and forgetful that her name was Martha
No,
and just being
they
bad?
don't
Yeah,
address it at all between those
they
2 points.
or like later on or in just Batman lore, like it's not really like really said like her name is really brought up all often. So
Well, I know in the comics it's mentioned once in a while, and like there's been times
yeah,
where it's in like the shared name of their moms is like little trivia points and
yeah,
like little
yeah,
things, but it's not
but,
like it's like, you know, it's not like it's Batman keeping the kryptonite in his like utility belt
yeah,
kind of staple
yeah,
to their relationship.
yeah.
Like,
But yeah, so or yeah, or if you decide had like been brought up a couple more times within the movie between those 2 points, like that scene would have been less made fun of, I think. Not fully, wouldn't have fully redeemed that scene, no, but it would have softened it some, I think, at least.
yeah, would have glided it in a little better.
Yeah. Like he probably would have broken both legs in one of his hits, and maybe just fucked up a knee or something instead. Maybe I like lightning.
Jeez. That was his mistake. He should have gone for the legs. Oh, wait, you can fly. You don't need legs.
All right.
So what I found kind of funny is like Batman, he's still on the other side of town while this raid's happening. I don't think we saw the Batmobile. I think he just walked there. I think he just
or or
walked
or
across
or
town.
or just like Spider-Man across the city with his like back grapples,
But like
and
Gordon's
then
like,
he's
where is Batman? And he's just like, just like do 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 do, like just
yeah,
walking
yeah,
down the
yeah,
street.
yeah, because because as he's leaving, he's like Leslie's like, hey, it's like 3 a.m. Like, what are you gonna do? He's like, oh, I've got priorities. I've got a job to do. Okay, it's like, oh, good. You did remember that you're supposed to be fucking helping out the fucking Gordon, but I don't think they're fucking doing this raid at fucking 3 a.m. Like you said, they're probably there at like 11 or 12, fucking waiting for you, and then
Yeah,
like
we're in
3 a.m. They're
4
like,
hours.
yeah, they're like, fuck it, man. They can't really be sitting out there because I think one of my early notes in this episode is that you see like yeah, Gordon Bullock and at least one other cop within full like riot gear like hiding behind cars. Like, do you know how obvious that fucking is? Like, even if you're not like huge like me, like 3 or 4 people hiding behind fucking car is real obvious.
Hey,
Especially if it's a
boss, there's
full
a crowd of football players over there behind the corner. Why are they carrying submachine guns?
and why do those couple have like red gear on for? Like Russell, I don't, I never, I think it's later on. Like one of my things is I don't think these fucking like Gordon or fucking Bullock know what fucking like Kevlar is.
Well, neither does Batman, apparently,
Yeah,
considering he wears the
yeah. Well,
tights.
that's well, he should, but he doesn't. But
Yeah,
yeah, but I guess he's not there. They haven't made it to like the John Wick of it all yet. But they have like the Kevlar like sewn into their suits.
makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah, so
so
yeah, so as I said, like as they're deciding to finally do the raid, like Batman's being like, hey, yeah, it's 3 a.m., so I should probably go fucking do what I was supposed to do fucking hours ago. And then the raid is fucking going poorly because I think they like noticed and then like the shots are fired and like the they built the spotlight, which I thought they were going to be doing like the last, which I thought was going to be like the last ditch effort to try and get Batman there, but it was just a shine on the building. And then yeah, then obviously they does the thing that happens every single fucking time you pull out a fucking spotlight just to point at the people you're shooting at, and it gets shot out immediately.
yeah.
So it's like, yeah, of course that's gonna fucking happen. Like, duh. Like, why spend the money and like the manpower to fucking get it there? just
I'm
to
starting to
know
see
that
why
to
the
know.
jazz man got away so easily
Yeah,
before.
yeah. Or so unless they're like that was like a strategic thing, it's like so it can draw his fire, so they can shoot at the people doing it maybe.
Yeah,
But they only brought one, and then it happened once, so it didn't work. So like, sorry, but I don't think these cops are that strategic because I just
that's why
thought of
they
that on
need
my own.
Batman for the strategy,
Yeah,
apparently.
apparently. Maybe that's why he's there. He's like, yeah, these guys fucking suck. Like, these guys all failed like the strategy core, like strategy risk class. So like, the guy can't do shit. So they can't keep South America. So like, what the fuck's going on? So like,
They're
they're not gonna figure out Riddler's things or get through like the Joker's fucking just traps at the last abandoned amusement park. So
their
fucking
riot
we need to
training
hear
is
the
like keep calm and blame Batman or call Batman. Like,
they're right. Training is that they lose to the 99th precinct when Jake's there fucking everything up. They're worse than him. They're worse than him at the riot games.
so yeah, Batman he does manage to get there as the raids kind of starting to go south, and he starts fighting with the jazz man when he's like trying to escape in the truck.
Jazz man.
Testify. And that's when Gordon, I think, is trying to follow behind. And Batman manages to stop the jazz man just in the nick of time. And Bullock's, grabbing him and, taking him in for the arrest. And he says, "Boy, at least this didn't go worse, Commissioner. Commissioner?" And he turned around and we see Gordon lying face down on the street. He's been shot. So, two things of note in the production details here. Uh, this was originally going to be Robin, but broadcasting standards said, no, you can't do that. They said,
We can't shoot children, man. What the fuck?
yeah,
He's only he's Robin. We do. Yeah, no one knows he's a child, even
yeah,
though it's obvious he's a child.
he's in
Huh?
college.
Well, he's see, there you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. So broadcasting standards said, no, you can't shoot Robin, but you can kill the old man. No, he's not dead. Not yet, at least. But
Fuck that old guy. Oh wait,
yeah,
I just turned old. Fuck. I guess I can't say that anymore now.
kill the senior.
No, I just said we can't say that anymore.
He's your senior, too.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, that carry on. Okay.
Yeah. So they said you can shoot Gordon, but you're not allowed to show him get shot. So like we see the after effects of it. And honestly, if I hadn't known that, this was an episode of Gordon getting shot, I wouldn't have realized it happened because as far as I can tell, we didn't see him like actually fire a gun. I guess at some point he did, but yeah, so Gordon's rushed to the hospital and
And being a child's program, there is like zero blood.
oh yeah, no, not a drop of
Yeah,
blood.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because like we had every time he got shot in the chest, there's the trick is like he never bleed.
And what a chest. I mean, apparently Gordon works on his pecs hardcore, man. Woo!
Yeah, you saw fucking J.K. Simmons before that Batman's v Superman came out. Like those pictures, man.
Yeah, James Gordon is buff, dude. Barrel
Yeah,
chested.
yeah. Fuck man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Fucking Commissioner Gordon is a fucking silver fox in this series, man.
Yeah, and he's single too. Yeah, don't ask what happened to
Oh
his
wait,
wife. It's not a
no,
dinner table conversation.
no, wait. No, he has a wife. Yeah, he has a wife in this series,
He
no?
has an ex-wife. Hint.
Hmm.
Do you not remember what happened between Gordon and Sarah Essen in the comics?
Well, this is not the comics, though. This is the show.
Yeah, but we don't see his wife, so I think it's implied that something of that nature happened. I don't think she's dead. Anyway, that's my headcanon. But yeah, so they're going to the hospital and
Oh wait, are you referring to like year one?
yes.
They solve that. They stay together. They end up staying together eventually, like at the end of that series. No,
I thought he married Sarah.
I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen that, but I do have the Actually, I do have the hardcover of that, which actually did come with the movie that
No,
where
no
like
way.
Bryan Cranston where like Bryan Cranston did the voice of Commissioner. I think it was Commissioner Gordon,
Yep.
and then yeah. Yeah, actually, I forgot I had that until I just said that right now, even though it's sitting like right over there. So
There you go.
I should probably watch slash read that again. But I digress.
So yeah, Barbara's in the hospital room when Batman, comes to visit, and he's like feeling guilty. He's like, I should have been there, like technically you were there. You were just, like that, like because it was a setup, something like this probably would have happened anyway. But of course, he's got survivor's guilt as he's had since, his parents were killed.
Yeah, and
And
did you ever think of like how he got into the room to like from being outside and then he's all of a sudden like in the room at the window? Because
well,
like because if you know your like basic building structures, like it looks like they're at least like probably at least on the third floor above on of the hospital.
mhm.
Those types of windows do not open that way. That eventually shows that the window is actually open and stuff. Like those windows fucking they may crack open slightly to get some fresh air in, but right, but if it's anything higher to say like the third floor, those windows don't fucking open at all.
Yeah. I assume he's got like some kind of like batarang to like wedge it open.
No, he just took over all the construction buildings under subsidiaries and stuff, and he's like every window fucking every window in every building opens up, man. Every window, every building,
That's kind of creepy
open.
when you put it like that, that Batman can open anybody's window.
Oh fuck!
There's some
Every
dark
window,
implication there.
every window,
Every single one.
every.
Screw Santa Claus. Batman's coming into your room. All
I
right.
know that's why.
I think we need to jump back into the story before we get into
Well, that's
some
why.
dark
I think
jokes.
I think that's I think that was the thing I think I referenced on the earlier episode. Like the one story where like he was like fucking with a guy where he just kept on like every night like or he'd like get like more a better, more secure like security system on his like house or whatever, and then like
Hmm.
every night he just like break in again and just fuck with the guy, and he's just like just let him know like by the end of the week he's like, I'm just doing this to let you know I'm always out there, I'm always fucking watching, I can always fucking get to you. So it doesn't matter what you fucking do, where you go, doesn't matter how much fucking money you have, I can always fucking get to you.
I will find you
And
and I will brand you.
and I'm just doing this to prove that I do. So nothing. I'm always fucking there. Nothing you can fucking do.
What if I
I
turn
just forgot.
myself into the police? Damn it.
That the police can do fucking dick because they're on my side, kind of.
Well, speaking of technically and kind of on his side, uh, as Batman's blaming himself, Bullock's like, "Yeah, it is your fault," and so he's, saying like, "You should have been there," and like, "How'd you know? You could have told us that it was a setup." Batman's like, "I didn't know it was a setup." He's like,
Like
"Oh
how the
yeah,
fuck
well
am I
that make."
so? How the fuck am I supposed to know?
Well, I think by this point, like Bullock has seen so many instances of Batman like being one step ahead of them on the case. He just
Yeah,
he's just shifting the blame for his own guilt, but he's also like, you always seem to know more than we do as the police.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I think he's like just
I should
saying
know.
like,
Should have
what
known.
don't you
Should have
know?
known something. I should have known something was up. Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess.
So driven away by the guilty conscience, Batman, he swings out of the window, and Bullock's like, "This isn't over. It's gonna be you and me. I'll get you for this." And then we see Batman returning to the cave, and I really like this scene because we spend a lot of this episode with Batman kind of wallowing in self-pity. But here he's just angry. Like he just walks right in into like his crime lab and just starts smashing things up, man. Like he's ripping computers out of the ground and
Like
chucking them
pushes.
off the cave cliffs. Like
But also too, like, I would note that I probably also figure he probably does this at least like once a week, probably.
How do you think he built that chair? He just punched it into existence.
He's like, I need to take this anger around something, so I'm just gonna fucking chisel this fucking rock.
Alfred's running away. Don't take it out on
Yeah,
me.
yeah. Then he said that because one of the few times you see Rose mask, he like grabs it and like yells, throws it into like the abyss or whatever, and just like yells and he's like, ah, which yeah, Kevin Conrad, like as per usual, like he's an impeccable like voice actor. Yeah, he did that yell pretty good.
Absolutely nailed that.
Yeah,
So the cut quickly to the jazz man at the court room, and the judge is like, Gotham jail is full right now, so you're going to be sent to Stonegate Penitentiary until your case goes to trial. And he's not happy about this. And one of the cellmates, I think this was Spider Conway from the Killer Croc episode. I could be wrong, but it looks like a familiar character design. He's wanting to finish Gordon off before the case goes to trial and says he's got a plan to bust out of there. So that's when we see Dick coming to Wayne Manor, where Alfred's like, thank you for coming. Like, I need your help. Like, Batman's not himself. He needs somebody to talk to. Apparently, he's been down in that cave, like, not changing out of the costume, like, for days.
it's
So,
been like
like,
he said it says it's been like 3 days since he's been down there. Yeah, he
yeah,
said
3 days,
you're
no
sleeping.
food, no sleep, like, nothing. Like, just wandering around, like, the bowels of the cave. Now, I've made this mention before.
He's brooding again.
Yeah. He broods every night. What he does on the freaking gargoyles. All he does is brood. He's not doing reconnaissance. He's just moping. But yeah, I've made mention of this before. Guano is very toxic. So if he is wandering around the bowels of that bat cave, Batman is just stoned out of his mind on batshit fumes
No, or dead.
or dead. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
because I think that yeah, there's a tale of that. Like people are going to try and like in China trying to fucking find like a bat cave and like a bunch of like a 250,000 flew out and stuff and a couple days later they're all dead just from like all the whatever was fucking the disease and then shit stuff they carry and they're all like shitting and stuff and like they probably like breathe it all in and stuff.
Yeah, and like his health is not going to be in any good form if he hasn't been eating in 3 days. So like he's just
On top of all that stuff, so he's probably not doing very well down there at all, yeah.
yeah, he's just like he's just swaying around like one rocking back and forth, going in the Garden of Eden, honey.
It sounds like rock and or roll.
My iron butterfly. So yeah, Dick's like, what's gotten into you, man? Like, and he's of course blaming himself because of Gordon being shot. And he's saying like I'm starting to think like I'm making this city worse, not better. And he's like, this city would fall apart in like hours if you weren't here. Like the minute that people realize there's no Batman, like this place turns into like a gangland wasteland.
Which is very telling of like the actual police force in Gotham in this version of Batman, if that is actually the case.
No kidding. And plus, like, if there's no commissioner, or like if Gordon's life is hanging by a thread, as he's so claiming, then all the more reason you need Batman. Like, I'm not saying that you can't have moments of, Batman kind of questioning, the effectiveness of his role. I'm just saying, like, this is not the time or place. Like, I get that he's not the exact archetype of what emotionally healthy looks like, but
What do
there's
you mean?
yeah.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Well, ironically enough, when he's talking to Leslie
What
Tompkins,
do
he
you
was
mean?
you know what I mean.
I hitched my rat to the wrong person all these years. No.
Just bury your emotions in violence.
I mean, we're not supposed to do that.
Well,
We're not supposed to do that.
be violent against the people who deserve violence.
No, wait. So I should beat myself up? Oh, I've been doing that for years. Okay, I've got that settled then. Okay, I carry on.
You want to talk after this?
What do you mean? I'm
Yeah,
okay. I'm okay.
yeah. I'm fine.
Clearly, you're
Yes.
Batman.
So yeah, Batman's like Gordon would have been like my father would have been Gordon's age if, he hadn't died. So like he's just like layering the survivor's guilt here and then says like maybe it's time that Batman goes back to the night from whence he came. And so Dick's realizing he can't get through to Bruce. And then we cut back to Stonegate where it's very easy to break out of Stonegate. I argue it's easier to break out of Stonegate than it is Arkham Asylum because he just slips out in the laundry.
The old laundry trick. Yeah, he didn't even have to do the Andrew Dufresne and like dig himself out. Yeah, he
Oh,
just like he
Jazzman
just did the
crawled through a tunnel of shit 5 miles long.
well, yeah, you just had to travel like 2 seconds in some like maybe smelly laundry.
You mean I crawled through that shit for nothing? I never told you to do that.
Yeah, he 100% took a lot that upon himself.
So yeah, we have Dick seeing it in the newspaper as he's, visiting Barbara in the hospital with her father. So you and I were chatting about this before we got the episode started. How does Dick know Barbara? Because she's not
I
Batgirl yet.
well, as I was saying, like I never took it as like her becoming Batgirl and then them figuring out was the first time they met. Like, because I thought they went to call in this version they went to college together. I thought at some point I thought, but
Maybe.
or as I said, like at the very least, if you're Robin in like the world of like Batman and stuff, like you should at least kind of know of like who the commissioner's daughter is, tangentially at least. But yeah, but I thought I thought they went to college together. I thought
Yeah.
so, but
He just
which
barges into the hospital room, say, "Hi, I'm Dick," and she's like, "Yeah, I know you're a dick. My father's been shot. What do you want?" So he says, like, don't worry, like the jazz man's not going to come finish your father off. I know someone who's going to stop him. She's like, is it Batman? He's like, well, yes. It's like, how do you know that? Look over there. So he goes back to Wayne Manor to try and talk Bruce into, like, getting out there. Cause yeah, like he's got a legitimate point. Like the jazz man's coming for Gordon. You're upset that this has happened to Gordon, so do something about it. And Bruce is just sitting there in his smoking jacket, just looking over papers. And Dick's like, "You got to be friggin' kidding me! Like, like you're not going to do anything." So he's like, "All right, fine, I'll do it." And that's what gets Bruce off his ass: the fact that Robin's wanting to wear the big boy pants and take over for him. And he's like, "Nope, stay off the
he's
west
like,
side."
cause yeah, he's like, this is my hunt, right?
Yeah.
I think it doesn't. I think he's what he says. Yeah.
So as that's happening, the jazz man is on his way to the hospital. So this is where I learned what the thing that window washer people go up and down in on the side of buildings. He knocks out the window washer and takes over his bosun chair. So that's what those are called.
That's what they're called. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it like bosun was like the position on a ship, like the guys who would like go up and down on like the rope to like clean like stuff high up or like maybe the side. So the side of the ship like it's wet. So why would you bother clean? I don't know.
Sure.
So
I have no
yeah,
idea what you're talking about.
I failed piracy 101.
Uh, or did you?
Yeah.
But yeah, but you have heard of it.
You have heard of me. So yeah, as that's happening, he's like getting close to the top of the window as Barbara's gone out to go grab a coffee. And okay, I know privacy of patients. However, there is a guard posted on the outside of the hotel room. Why is he not inside? Sorry, not the hotel room, the hospital room.
Yeah.
Why is he not inside?
Well, yeah, because we all know that the only people that come through the window is Batman, and you don't have to worry about him. So
Yeah, and
that's
guess who
why.
the cop is in charge of the police right now? The
It's not
one cop who
Batman.
hates Batman and basically said, "Piss off. I don't want to see you here again." So yeah, he's going up the platform to the side of the building. And that's when Batman manages to get there in the nick of time and they're having a grapple fight there. And okay, so Barbara opens the door and sees this fight going on the outside of the building. And okay, her solution is to lightly pull over the hospital screen
Yeah,
in
yeah,
front
I
of the
was, yeah,
window,
yeah,
which
it's just like,
just
yeah,
jack point shit.
yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, he's trying to break through the window, yeah, like just pulling like the sheet on wheels isn't going to fucking stop anything at all, or stop him
Like
from breaking through the window.
I love like she had like a cup of like just throw it in his face or something. But of course she drops it the minute she sees Batman on the other side because oh my gosh, Batman's here. Of course Batman's here. He's been here before. Like so yeah, they're having their fight and he manages to knock Batman down briefly and goes to shoot Gordon. And that's when Batman throws one of his Bat Ninja stars and it lands in the barrel of the gun as he's about to fire it off. And it like blows the gun up like in his hand. And, you know, that's when Bullock bursts down the door and says, freeze. And
Yeah,
so,
but backfires in his hand, yeah.
yeah. So that's ironically when Gordon is waking up and Barbara's like, Dad, are you all right? It's like, well, I was resting peacefully until I heard the friggin' gunshot next to my bed.
Like, do you guys mind keeping it down? I'm recovering from being shot. Like, what the fuck?
No, one time I'm able to get away from a stressful situation, and of course you bring the stress to me,
Yeah,
punk
you
kid.
guys got to bring fucking everything here, man. My daughter, bringing me almost dying from my daughter. Fucking Batman's here. Like, what the fuck, man? Just let me recover in peace. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, so he's talking to Batman, and he says, like, did the raid go well? It's like, well, the jazz man's literally within your eyesight, so what does that tell you?
Well, you did. Well, that's when you did get shot. So, what do you think?
I
Aside
just
from
assumed there
that,
was another cop. They all hate me. Or Bullock. You know, it was probably Bullock. Yeah, so he's saying to Batman, like, you know, I just wanted to know, like, never give up, you know, never surrender. A very Galaxy Quest, and says to Batman, I always wanted to be a hero like you. And Batman's like, you are a hero, Jim. And that's where he lets him rest. And I thought that's where they were going to end the episode, but actually, it's a very nice button when we see him swinging out, and that's when we cut to seeing him noticing Wizard at the bus stop. So
yeah,
he's
you see,
like,
yeah, I see him waiting for the bus around the bus thing again, yeah, and then he busts in. And he's like, "Oh, like, do we need to figure out whose luggage that is and return it to them?" So he's like, "Well, well, you already did because that's actually my luggage. So like, yeah, like you actually got me on the street and narrow because like." I've been to the places like that before, but what you said, dude, kind of actually knocked some sense into me, and I should actually going back to see my folks and get my life in order, sort of thing.
yeah, so just really brought a smile to Batman's face as he's realizing like not
Yeah, he
everything's
actually you actually do matter because they like
Yeah,
because it wasn't for you, I probably wouldn't probably wouldn't have survived or be I probably wouldn't be get my life back in order. So you kind of saved my life there, Batman. You
yeah.
actually do you do still kind of matter around here.
It's like I bet you hear this all the time. A Batman's like, starting to like look like he's gonna tear up. It's like, are you crying? No, I am the knight.
I don't need a
So
hug at all, I swear.
yeah, can you be my parents? And that's how the episode ends of him realizing like he is making a difference. And you know what? Really, really good ending for an episode. They didn't have to put that last scene in there. I think if they wanted to have padded out some of the action scenes a little longer, they could have, but it really gets to the heart of the story.
Yeah. So they did. So what'd you give this episode out of five shot commissioners?
I am going to give it 4 out of 5. It's a very good episode. I think, yeah, kind of like we were touching on in the beginning, this a lot of stuff would have gone over our heads as kids. But looking back on it now, it's really aged well. Like, as we're getting older and, kind of like looking over our own lives and like all the stuff we've done and looking back on this show and
Who told
seeing,
you?
yeah, you did.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, it was really good. It was a very touching episode and it tugs at your heartstrings. How about you?
Yeah, I think I'd give it a 4 out of 5 as well. Yeah, because like I said, even though I probably wouldn't have gotten this at all when I was first watching it, but yeah, it's definitely well lit and actually ended the ending well. And it actually does show actually Batman's psyche a little bit, and instead of just being like, oh yeah, I'm being like Mr. Tough Batman, or like I am the knight, I can do everything. So, nah, yeah, I definitely go to a 4 out of 5 as well. All right, everybody, that is the episode for this week. Thank everyone for joining this week in the Back Cave to talk about Batman the animated series. Next week's episode will be Off Balance. So, which I think you had mentioned this episode before, which I had forgotten, count vertigos, like in this, might be in this episode. So it'll be interesting if I've actually seen this episode or not. So I guess we'll find out whenever we end up recording next, and you'll find out next week. And you can follow us on Twitter/X at Beyond Backcast, on Instagram at Beyond the Backcast, and on YouTube at youtube.com/ at Beyond the Backcast. Check us out there. Give us a rate, review, subscribe, or wherever you've found this podcast where you're listening. And where can we find you on the internet, Braydon?
You can find me on Instagram at Alfred Izzati and
What
also
is
on
that?
Facebook for Beyond the Backcast and on our Discord. We'd love to have you guys there. Go on our Beyond the Backcast Instagram and you'll find it on our link tree. And we're talking the Penguin. We finally got Adam to start watching it, but I reckon around the time that this episode releases, he'll probably have gotten towards the end, if not finished it. So we can finally talk spoilers.
Hey, you can follow me at Stump Junkwin on Instagram there. And as I said, thank you for joining us in the Batcave to talk about Batman the Animated Series, Beyond the Backcast. Goodbye, good chums. Kapow.